Greetings and welcome to Community Centered, where we talk about what community is, why community matters, why you matter to community, and most importantly, how to cultivate it for yourselves wherever you are right now. I'm Ellie Whittekins, and I wanted to start this channel because until very recently, community wasn't a part of my life. But prioritizing finding the community around me and building those different social circles has changed my life in a way I'm extremely grateful for, and I wanted to help others do the same. In my 20s, after I left college, I kept asking myself, what is community? Because I couldn't really think of anything in my own life that spoke to it. All I really had was like images of potlucks or things of a long gone era that I was never a part of. So other than the friends that I met at school, I didn't really have a sense of community. Everything changed for me in 2020, especially as we got near the end of the year and after the elections. One of the things I was really thinking is community is so important because you have close ties, especially close ties to people who may be supplying your food. So that is actually where I started. My initial goal was to build relationships and build ties with farmers that would supply majority of my food rather than buying them from a big store. So I needed to hunt down a farmer's market. The fun part about my new determination is it was December in Michigan. I don't know about you, but blustery lake effect snow is not generally what I picture when I think of a farmer's market. But I was determined, so every day I'd pull up a Google search with Winter's Farmer's Market in it and had a relatively big search area, around me, and I'd hit search and no results would pop up. I was really stubborn. So I just kept hitting search throughout the day, and after about a week of this, I broke the algorithm. And the search result popped up, Winter's Farmer's Market, right in the areas that I was looking for. And it had indeed been there the whole time. It just took a lot of determination and button mashing to find it. I went out to the market the first chance I had, and there were vendors there selling meat, eggs, baked goods, vegetables, honey, jams and jellies. It was a start. It was definitely enough to start figuring out what I could make from it and kind of filling in my pantry and getting further away from buying from the stores. So I started going every week that it was on. And now I have two markets because I have the one that I visit in the winter, so 6 months out of the year, and then one that is a summer market that I visit for 6 months of the year. I know vendors at each, a lot of them know me, and I stop and I chat to them. And there are a few vendors that I actually stop and talk to, even though I'm not buying from them that week. They sell something that maybe I only need, once or twice a season, and, but I like talking to them. I like hearing what's going on in their life, and they like hearing about what I have going on in mine, and it's just a part of the routine. We are friends, acquaintances, a part of a community together. After I settled into my market routine a bit, I realized I still can answer the question, what is community? What does it even look like? I had solved my first problem fairly easily by setting my mind to it. So I thought about it and decided I needed to talk to people who were of that generation that knew community and saw it. So I emailed my local veterans group. The group I contacted was the VFW, Veterans of Foreign Wars, and they invited me to their weekly burger night to come and ask questions. I was expecting a group of people, some from that bygone era that I was looking to ask questions to. In reality, I walked in and I was the youngest person there by 4 decades. Not only was my generation missing from the room, so was my parents' generation. Think about it. This is a group that serves veterans and their families. They represent those responsible for our freedom at community events like Memorial Day, Independence Day, Veterans Day, and their members are 70 to 80 years old. I realized then that this problem didn't start with my generation. Community itself had been waning for a long time. I didn't get the answers to the questions I was asking that day, but I kept coming back to talk to people and make friends. Found out I had a family member that served in the military, and that gave me the opportunity to join the VFW Auxiliary and help the group directly. And while I didn't get my questions answered directly, they did eventually answer them with their actions. The VFW and auxiliary members are constantly helping each other. Whether it's ride to doctor's appointments or the airport or cleaning out a yard, they're there. And when I got COVID, I had an army of women dropping off chicken noodle soup to my house and calling to check in on me. And I know for a fact one of the women that was calling me, I had never given my phone number to. So the group had just shared that. But that was their character. You take care of people when they are in need. It was a great insight into how community really functioned. At this point, I had a really good image of what community was. I also knew that I wanted to continue to build my community. I wasn't going to be satisfied just sitting it out. But I kind of skated for about a year and a half until one day I walked into a local coffee shop and saw a group of ladies there knitting. I had tried starting a knitting club several years before COVID, and it never really panned out. I used the app Meetup to create the group, and I got a lot of people online joining, but no one would show up to the actual meetings. So I was very excited to see this group of ladies knitting. I was busy running errands that day, but I made a note of it. And the next Saturday I had a chance around that time. I went into the coffee shop with my knitting and sat in the corner knitting, waiting for someone to come in. And sure enough, they did. And the only open table was, wouldn't you know it, right next to me. One of them said when they sat down, "Oh, you're knitting too." And that was my in. And I explained to them I was looking for a knitting group and wondering if they were an open knitting group or not. And they instantly accepted me. They were like, "Yeah, absolutely, you can knit with us." And just wanted to know, everything about me, wanted to chat, wanted to catch up as if we were old friends. I can't really express how strange and wonderful that was, considering I had kind of crashed their knitting group a little bit. I kind of just invited myself in a way. They were very friendly about it, the most open of all of the groups, and all of my groups have been very friendly and open, but they really accepted me and was happy to have me right from the get-go. Buoyed by my knitting success, I set my sights on something that I had been putting off. I wanted to find a Bible study. I was raised Christian, but my family did not attend church. I didn't really have any idea of where to start in terms of looking for a church because I didn't really know what type of church I wanted. But there was one that I passed on my way to work, and they had an LED sign out by the street that would always display their themes for the service and everything. And they seemed interesting, so I reached out and joined their Bible study. Was very nervous about this one because of my lack of experience in a church or studying the Bible, and I didn't think that I would have anything to add to discussion, so I had kind of resolved to go and sit quietly. But at that first meeting, the content was very good, it was very enlightening, and shockingly, I did have things to add. The group was very welcoming and they didn't put me on the spot, but it's still a small enough group that I have gotten to know people very well over my time there. So far, all of these groups I found the old fashioned way, but someone had suggested one more way to me of finding community that I wanted to try out, and that is a friend app. It turns out that Bumble, the dating app, has a friend feature that tries to match you with other people looking to meet new friends in the area. So I tried it out, got a few matches, and exchanged some messages before communications started dwindling with most of them. But one of them stuck. One woman was looking for a walking buddy, and that worked for me. So we met up to walk, and actually, we still meet up to walk and talk about our lives whenever our schedules allow. Honestly, the app was my least favorite way to create community for myself. It is a one on one interaction where we could have long conversations about our lives, but the groups did expand my address book more with less effort than the app. By my count, my community has grown by 39 people in the past 3 years. I'm not even at the end of my journey. I'm still at the beginning because there are still groups that I want to find and join and new friends to make. At the end of the day, the thing that changed my life was my decision to change it. I prioritized searching for groups and meeting new people, and I found what I was looking for. You can too. Community is out there waiting to be discovered. It requires being open, it requires making an effort, but it is doable and very much worth it. I hope this has inspired everyone. Please share your stories of where you found community in the comments below, and join me here next time where we talk about how to build community right here and now.